we can get into the real news of our beloved Redskins, aka now the Washington football team, and that is
No, wait, time out. AKA here is still the Redskins.
yes,
It
we
is
all
not
love
the
our Redskins.
WT. It's
Speaking of
not
which,
the WTF.
I forgot to put on my skin shirt. You
I
rushed me
wasn't going
into
to say
this.
anything, but
You
oh
rushed
yeah.
me into this. Yeah. Just to let everybody know, Dad's like, well, this needs to start at 7 o'clock, and if it's 7:01, he gives me crap. Okay, I tried to get, and I started it at 7:00 today, but it did not work out. Where I forgot to put my skin shirt on, but it's all right. I
Wait,
got my
how
Redskins
how
sign in
often?
the back.
I was going to say, how often do you wait to put your Redskins gear on until after you start doing your final notes?
I mean, usually I'm already wearing it, but I clearly just grabbed any shirt out of my drawer today. But it's okay.
That's all right.
We'll get through
Blame me for it. It's okay.
it. Dad still got his wine, so we're not completely out of control, you know. But all right, so we have Derrius Guice released by the team hours after Guice turned himself in for domestic violence accusations. And I'm going to use the term accusations, alleged, claimed, things like this, because I do believe in innocent until proven guilty, but I will say the evidence does not seem, that we know so far, does not look good for old Guice. So
It's rather overwhelming, yes.
yeah,
But I understand. It's alleged until it's not alleged anymore.
correct. Okay. Because he apparently is vehemently denying the accusations. It's like he is saying that this is completely fabricated, made up, and he's, crapping on the team for cutting him so quickly, things like that. But the charges against Geis right now are 1 count of strangulation, which is apparently a class 6 felony in Virginia, 3 counts of assault and battery, and 1 count of destruction of property. And this all apparently happened on 3 different occasions, one in March, one in February, and one in April. And they all occurred at his home. So it's alleged that his girlfriend alleged that he strangled her to the point she passed out, and she woke up to him crying and tapping her to wake up. She also claimed to...
Oh,
good.
Before you go into the next, let me just say that it's those kind of details that makes it more credible.
Yeah.
Because the fact that she would go out of her way to say she woke up to him crying, tapping her to wake up, is a little bit. Usually, that's an indication that when somebody knows detail like that or gives detail like that, it adds credibility to it. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, she could be one heck of a liar, but I don't sit on here. As I said, I think the evidence is not pointing out or going to be turning out good for Derrius Guice. So she also claimed he pushed her to the ground, which caused a popped blood vessel in her thumb to then have the nail eventually fall off. And then another one was that he slapped the phone out of her hand, or took her phone and threw it out in the middle of the street to actually have it shattered, which is the destruction of property claim. So, and this is really bad. Washington Post reported that his girlfriend took multiple photos of the incidents. So she has photos, I guess, of her bruises, scars, damages, whatever the case may be. So this is the kind of stuff that I agree. Like, not only her detail, but I think, having photo evidence is definitely going to help her case as well.
Yeah.
So Ron Rivera was asked about the decision to release Guice, and here's his quote. He said, "Anytime you have to release a very talented player, it's always a tough decision. We take those allegations very, very seriously, and we had to make a decision. I talked to our players yesterday that I made the decision, and I believe it is in the best interest of our organization. And if it was the right decision, we will benefit from it. And if it not, it'll be on me. I will take full responsibility going forward to make sure we do things the right way." Which I do like this about Ron Rivera. He always takes responsibility for everything, and he just owns up to everything. It's not, he didn't say he did say he talked to different people, but it's it's my decision. It's not, oh, well, multiple people in an organization, came to the conclusion and we all thought about it together, blah, blah. We all came into it's like, no. Nobody else's opinion really matters. This is my decision. I released Guice. If he ends up becoming a Hall of Famer somewhere else, it's on me, basically, is what he said.
I respect that about him.
Yep. And he was also go ahead. Do you have anything else?
No. What were you going to say? He was
No.
Also what?
So he also was asked about players like Cody Latimer, obviously was shooting the gun, and Reuben Foster, who has also had domestic violence accusations against him in the past. That, basically, what about these? Like, what's different here? And this
All
is
right. So I'm sorry, I didn't know, but let's break this down because it's a couple different issues. And yes, we'll get to talking about them in a minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, first of all, I don't know what Rivera knows that maybe someone else doesn't know about this whole situation. I will say my knee-jerk reaction when I heard it was good. I'm glad to see the Redskins saying, we're not dealing with this. Don't care who you are. It sends a message across the team that you could be a high draft pick. You could be a lowly scrub. We don't care. This is the team, and what you're doing is a detriment to the team. You're gone. I appreciate that. If this comes out where it's less definitive than it seems to be right now, and that, let's say just hypothetically, his girlfriend is exaggerating at the very least or making things up. Not saying I believe that, so don't kill me, anybody. I'm just hypothetically.
Yep. Then
if it basically if it progresses and the police department takes a different, if this kind of comes to life, easy for me to say, then there was, after I had a chance to think about it, would it have been wise to say, hey, don't like what we're hearing. This is a problem. He's suspended indefinitely, and he's not allowed on the property until this thing gets squared away. And then basically send Guice away, say that, and I know he doesn't want the distraction, but would that have been as effective to say that right now you are suspended, you are not allowed on football or Redskins facilities, and you need to stay away until this thing's cleared up. And then if something comes out more definitive, then say, okay, we've got more news, you're gone. Again, it's an honest question. I don't know the right answer to this because it sounds like if she's got pictures, I will admit that strangulation sounds serious. Pushing down and causing a blood vessel to pop on my thumb sounds a little bit more over dramatized. So it seems to have both angles in it, but that would be the only thing that I could find potentially a fault of Ron Rivera is if this comes out where it's not as bad, it's not a Ray Rice kind of thing, and that there's more nuance to it, that maybe he overreacted. And again, suspend him, kick him, say, just like you would do in college. If something happens, it's like you are suspended and you're removed from the team until you get that squared away, then we'll talk to you. They could have gone that route. But again, Ron Rivera might have more information that says, okay, this is a cut and dry case, we're done. And that's fine. But that was the only fault that I could say.
Yeah, I was definitely on page with, the team could have access to more information than we have already. Maybe they have insiders in the police department or something. They know more information, but they did do it really quickly. It was within a couple hours or something that they decided to remove him from the team. But I had the opposite reaction because as I said, I do believe in this innocent until proven guilty. So I was kind of thrown off by automatically releasing him before the evidence actually comes out and before the trial and different things. But I would say I had mixed feelings on it because that the team's been through so much, and potentially harboring a woman beater or a woman strangler in this case, is not the cherry on top that you want on your organization after the 15 women that accuse you of sexual harassment and mistreatment, obviously the name change, everything else going on today. This is not really the cherry on top that you want. So just cut it off. So at the end, I agree with the decision as well. I think that this was the best move. Just it's unfortunate because I really liked Guice. I wanted him to play. I thought that there was an opportunity for him to actually get some good carries this year, good production this year. But I do agree that, and also what helps this situation is our running back is one of the stronger points on our team. So this is actually somebody. This is not necessarily a position of need either. Maybe this is the receiver, like Cody Latimer. If this is a receiver, you're maybe a little bit longer leash. Like, crap, we kind of need him.
That's right. That's where I was good. My next angle of my other take to this is the possibility. First of all, poor timing one way or the other for Guice, because you're right. What was going on with the organization to have any kind of bad things involving doing something to a woman was unfortunate. At the very best, was unfortunate timing for him. At the very worst, he's a pig or whatever you want to call him. But here was what I was thinking, and to your point of the Redskins being strong as at running back, that maybe that Ron Rivera coming in said, yeah, Guice is interesting. He's got a lot of talent, but he's a little bit of like glass, that he attracts injuries, that he's 2 for 2 in seasons and injuries, and maybe not that he was looking for this opportunity, don't get me wrong, but maybe this opportunity presented himself, and trying to change the culture, that he was able to do very swiftly, because maybe he wasn't even in Guice's camp. Maybe he likes other guys that don't get injured, and he's thinking Guice is not my guy. So maybe he takes the opportunity to very swiftly and with no thought saying, this was one of our top draft picks, and he screwed up, he's gone. And he can look at every other player in the locker room and say, this is you. If you do this, I don't care who you are. Trent Williams, don't care. Derrius Guice, don't care. You disrespect this, or I don't know if disrespect is the right word, but you cause affect the reputation of the Redskins, you're gone. No questions asked, done. And he can use this to send that message. And like to your point, if they're strong in the backfield, I'm not saying running backs are a dime a dozen, but they're not quarterbacks, and they're not necessarily.
Oh, I'm saying running backs are a dime a dozen.
Right. Okay. Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but you get my point.
Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan proved that many years, that they literally took people that you've never heard of, Tatum Bell, Peyton Hillis. Maybe you've heard of him because of course, the Cleveland Browns year where he was on the cover of Madden. But people that you don't really ever hear about, and they're 5 yards a carry running back in his system. So no, there's obviously some a higher tier. Like there's not Saquon Barkley's everywhere. There's not Zeke Elliott or Adrian Peterson. Le'Veon Bell, yep, he's another one. Another great one. But as far as a running back that could be effective, that you could get 4 to 5 yards a carry, yes, they are a dime a dozen out there, and there's a lot of capable running backs. But to your point, as far as him not being Ron Rivera's guy, it's been reported by multiple sources, and I got it from ESPN's John Keim, who covers the team, that Carolina had removed Guice off their draft board in 2018 due to both his injuries and his character. So
there you go.
Yeah, just talk about how he was not Ron Rivera's guy. Yeah, he clearly was not, because he was the coach of Carolina, and they yanked him right off the board. They were not looking at him at all. Because he was actually
that's an interesting piece of information. I didn't know that. That is very telling to me.
Yep. So it was very, very interesting. And Guice was like on a lot of people's boards as far as a talent, like a first round talent running back, maybe a late first rounder, not a top tier, but a really good running back. And we got him late in the second round because of all those concerns. So it just stinks to have another second round pick gone. Our second round pick history over the last 10 years or so has been absolutely atrocious. Nobody signed a second contract here. You have Trent Murphy, who was okay, gone. You have what's his name? Crap. the linebacker. Preston Smith, I believe, was a second-round pick. He's gone. Obviously, you have atrocities like Sua Cravens, who decided to retire after one season. Gone.
Yeah, that's a little. I don't blame that on the Redskins necessarily. Something slipped. He slipped a bit.
Oh no, I completely blame Scott McCloughan because Scott McCloughan did no research on these players' character or like personalities or interest in football. Because Josh Doxson was that same year, and Josh Doxson does not want to play football. Speaking of Josh Doxson, real quick, we don't have to go into it too much. Did you see that he opted out of this season?
I'm shocked.
Yeah, opted out.
Really? He's not the first one to practice and the last one to leave? No.
Yeah, but no, I completely blame Scott McCloughan, the GM that season, because I just want football players. I'm just looking for football players. Give me football players. And he did not sign football players. His first and second round pick were not football players. They were good athletes, but they did not want to play football. And both of them are basically out of the league because you could just say Josh Doxson just opted out. So both of them are not even playing on a team this season. And but this just stinks to have another second round pick. And this was probably one of the most touted second round picks for us. Like, a lot of people had high expectations for Derrius Guice at running back, and he is now gone from the team, and this just stinks to have another second round pick gone.
Well, and again, I understand what you're saying. I can't argue with you, but between drafting Guice and where we are now, Dan Snyder, for better or for worse, decided that the front office that I have in there and the coaching staff that I have in there is not working, and we are going to completely clean house, basically. And you now have a guy in there that said Guice is not the guy, and took the first opportunity, and I'm not saying it was a weak opportunity, but took the first opportunity to say, problem, gone. Now he doesn't have to answer, well, did you not like Derrius Guice? Imagine if nothing happened and then he was like, Derrius Guice is not my guy. Then he's got to answer 100 questions about why.
Yeah.
What was it about Derrius? Now it's like, done.
It's easy. Yeah. And he did mention that, he hopes that maybe, a change of scenery for him. Like, if it comes out that nothing happens and, maybe a change of scenery helps him, maybe he won't have injuries somewhere else. And, maybe it'll be a good turnout for
also
somewhere else.
Which translated is, didn't like the guy, I'm glad he's gone, I hope he's successful somewhere else.
Yep.
Rivera says all the right things. You have to give him that. It's like, yes, maybe a change of scenery. Yeah, not on my team.
Not on my team. That's awesome.
Maybe a change of uniform to anybody but my team.
Yeah. Anywhere but here. Well, the other angle to this is when Rivera was asked about players like Cody Latimer and Reuben Foster, who have also had histories, that basically, what about them? So much of a question is
okay. And just refresh my memory, which one was Cody Latimer? I know we had the two guys. One was in the apartment, and which one?
Cody Latimer was apparently in that poker game with the dude that may have assaulted his son.
Up in the apartment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Apparently left and came back with the gun. Apparently fired the gun in the direction, did not hit anybody. But yeah, apparently there was a dispute somewhere there. I haven't quite followed up with it as far as, I don't know if there's any new information out yet, because I don't even know if the court date has gone and passed and whatnot. But basically, yeah, it's an ongoing thing. But yeah, he was the one that potentially was playing poker with somebody who assaulted his son. Yeah, which is nuts.
Well, and my initial feeling is I wouldn't necessarily batch or group Cody and Reuben together. Now, granted, we all know how things work, and maybe his girlfriend, Reuben Foster's girlfriend, I think it was his girlfriend. They rarely get married, but that maybe she realized, hey, this is my meal ticket, and I'm going to rescind this. But if I'm not mistaken, the charges that went against him, she came out and recanted. So the charges were dropped, and they did a investigation. And with these types of crimes, the state has the right to carry, even if you say I'm dropping the charges, if the state has reason to believe that there's a sufficient amount of evidence, they can carry the charges without your, misdemeanors and smaller things. If you want to drop the charges, you can drop the charges. But like if you're physically assaulted and somebody brutally beats you and you say, I want to drop the charges, the state's attorney has the right to say, nope, you can't drop the charges. We're carrying them even without you.
Right.
So it was a pretty serious, from what I gathered or remember, it was pretty serious allegations. The girlfriend recanted and said, I was upset. It didn't happen like that.
So that's not completely accurate. So
okay.
She did
I
recant.
really am.
Yeah, she did recant, but that was the first accusation. So there was an accusation in the spring of 2018 that apparently happened where she got pushed and different things like that, or abused in some way. Then that accusation she recanted, which kept Ruben on the 49ers.
Right.
Right. And then it was in November, I believe, where they were going to Tampa Bay and they had an incident in the hotel in Florida where he apparently pushed her, knocked the phone out of her hand, and apparently open hand slapped her was the accusation. And that one was just dropped based on lack of evidence, according to the Florida, Florida State Attorney, Andrew Warren. He apparently dropped the charges for lack of evidence. That one she did not recant. And we don't have to go into too much to detail about Reuben Foster's thing any more than that, but it's just, I just thought it was weird. Why are you back with a woman who apparently lied to police to steal your money? Like, that's basically what she said. She was like, I wanted to ruin his career and basically cash in. That's why I lied to you. It's like, if that's true, why are you back with this woman?
All right, couple things. First, love makes you do stupid things. Trust me, there's a whole long history of both guys and girls doing really, really stupid things for love.
I'm not saying it's implausible. I'm saying it beyond ridiculous, in my opinion. Like, you have somebody that's literally trying to ruin you. I know if that happened to me, if Selena came in here and tried to steal all my money by lying to the police that I beat her, like, there would be serious
I
problems in our relationship. Like, what?
And I know it's a different thing, but what makes a woman that a guy, what didn't Ray Rice's girlfriend that he knocked out, didn't she stay with him?
Yeah, it's crazy. I still think it's ridiculous. I know it happens. I still think it's crazy. I know it happens. I do know that this is some sort of psychological hold over them that causes them to want, or like to need to stay, or almost, or whatever it is. But it's still a crazy concept to me.
And make no mistake about it, I believe that if it comes out that Derrius Guice, and granted there's more than one instance, so I'm not saying I believe there's a big chance of this, but if it comes out that Derrius Guice, and you can't ever say innocent because you don't know, but if Derrius Guice is not guilty, and for whatever reason insufficient evidence, and there's other questions that come up, then the Redskins made a mistake. Not because I think he would have helped the team, but because then the players are going to say, okay, something happens like that, you don't have my back. So it could backfire. And again, I'm not saying I believe it's going to happen, but if it comes out where Derrius Guice was somehow railroaded and ends up going to another team, that the same message that I guessed or speculated that Rivera had, which is, you screw up, you're gone, I don't care who you are, now it could backfire on him to where the players are going, wait a minute, he was innocent and you didn't have his back. If something like that happened to me, you saying you dropped me in a heartbeat and I don't have, you have, so there is a potential for backlash. But I think with Reuben Foster, Lattimore is still Lattimore is still in question. It seems a little bit more strange, but nonetheless, Reuben Foster had one case dropped against him, another one insufficient evidence. He went through the process, he was done, and the NFL said you're eligible to play again, and the Redskins picked him up. That is different to me.
And he wasn't the one that picked him up.
Right.
Yeah, so he was already on the team when he got here. It's like, okay, well,
Right.
it seems like no evidence came from that, blah, blah, blah. Even though she recanted it the first time, whatever. Like, so I guess he could say things like that. And no, it's definitely a tightrope he's going to have to walk as far as like, okay, if he comes out innocent, how do I handle this? I do think he can pretty easily handle it of like, look, the Washington Post was reporting that she had photos of the incidents, like she had details of the incidents. There was apparently 3 incidents. Like there was a lot of evidence going against him. Also, as we talked about before already, the 15 women accusations. We didn't want that to be held, the cherry on top, as I said, blah, blah, blah. So I think there is a way that he can handle it where it won't cause the problem in the locker room. Also, he's a player's coach. I mean, this one incident compared to 53 others where he clearly has all the players' backs and is a great leader of men. So I think I'm not too worried about that. I guess I'd say.
No, and just let me be clear and put a cap on this subject that I have confidence that Ron Rivera didn't make a mistake. He knows something that I don't think Derrius Guice walks away from this like, oh, everything was made up. I don't believe that for a second. So I think Ron Rivera, either through his gut instinct or what he knew that we don't know, knew this was an issue and decided to nip it in the bud. And whether or not he just said, hey, this guy, because let's face it, maybe Ray Rice for the Ravens was considered a more valuable asset by the coaches. So they gave him the benefit of the doubt right up until the point that they couldn't. But make no mistake about it, I believe that there is definitely part of this that, no, I'm not railroading you, but I had enough information and you're really not my guy. See ya. If you're a superstar, then I'm going to give you a little bit of lean because, man, you really helped my team. But that played into it too. And that's all I have to say. I know we've covered this for a while, but.
Yep. No, I mean, it was a big story. It was, yeah. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. The like button is on this side for mobile. If you have any of your own thoughts or questions, comment down below. We may just answer it next video. Thanks. See ya.